Mexican Mafia, La IME. Founded in 1957 inside California's Dual Vocational Institution, the Mexican Mafia emerged when a group of Hispanic inmates decided they needed protection from other prison gangs. Luis Cuero Buff Flores, one of the original 13 founders, helped establish the organization's iron-fisted rules that still govern members today. What started as a defensive move quickly transformed into a powerful criminal organization, controlling operations both inside and outside prison walls. The gang's influence stretched across Southern California, eventually dominating drug trafficking and extortion rackets throughout the region. By the 1970s, La M had established a brutal reputation, demanding taxes from street gangs operating in their territories. Members are identified by their distinctive tattoos, often featuring the letter M or the number 13, representing their place in the alphabet. Joe "Peg Leg" Morgan, a non-Hispanic member with a prosthetic leg, became a notorious leader despite not being Mexican, proving the organization valued ruthlessness over ethnicity. The organization operates with a strict code of silence, and breaking it means certain death. Their reach extends into Mexico, where they've formed alliances with major cartels, and they famously inspired the 1992 film American Me, which resulted in several murders after its release. Aryan Brotherhood. Formed in 1964 at San Quentin State Prison in California, this white supremacist gang started as inmates sought protection in an increasingly divided prison system. Barry Mills and Tyler Bingham later rose to become powerful leaders, transforming the group into a sophisticated criminal network that controlled drug distribution and contract killings across the federal prison system. The organization uses Nazi symbolism and requires members to make a blood oath, often involving committing murder to prove their loyalty. Despite representing less than 1% of the prison population, they're responsible for roughly 20% of prison murders nationwide. The gang operates through a council system, with senior members making decisions from isolated supermax cells using coded letters and messages passed through corrupt guards. Their influence reaches beyond prison, with street-level associates carrying out orders and maintaining drug operations in multiple states. Members are covered in racist tattoos, including shamrocks, swastikas, and the numbers 666, which represent the sixth letter of the alphabet 3 times, spelling out their initials. The organization has connections with outlaw motorcycle clubs and maintains strict racial requirements for membership, though they've been known to conduct business with other ethnic groups when profit is involved. Black Guerrilla Family. Founded in 1966 at San Quentin State Prison by former Black Panther member George Jackson, this organization was created with a revolutionary political ideology focused on overthrowing the U.S. government and fighting racial oppression. Jackson wrote the book Soledad Brother while in prison, which gained him national attention and support from activists outside prison walls. The group's original mission combined Marxist philosophy with black nationalism, making it different from other prison gangs that focus purely on criminal enterprise. Members are required to learn and follow the organization's political teachings, and the gang uses a military-style ranking system with titles like Supreme Commander and Central Committee. George Jackson was killed during an alleged escape attempt in 1971, turning him into a martyr for the organization and strengthening member loyalty. The Black Guerrilla Family operates primarily on the West Coast and in the Maryland prison system, where they gain significant power by corrupting correctional officers. In 2013, federal authorities uncovered a massive corruption scandal at Baltimore's jail system, where BGF members had impregnated 4 female guards and were running criminal operations with their help. The organization remains active today, though many members have shifted focus from revolutionary politics to drug trafficking and organized crime. Nuestra Familia. Established in 1968 at Soledad Prison in California, this organization was created by Hispanic inmates from Northern California who faced constant attacks from the Mexican Mafia, which was dominated by Southern California Hispanics. The founding members came from rural areas around Fresno, Salinas, and San Jose, and they used the number 14, representing the letter N, to identify themselves in opposition to La M number 13. The gang developed a military-style structure with a written constitution and strict rules governing member behavior both inside and outside prison. Nuestra Familia controls the drug trade in California's Central Valley and northern regions through their street army called the Norteños, who wear red clothing to distinguish themselves from the Mexican Mafia's blue-wearing Sureños. Members must follow orders without question, and the organization is known for keeping detailed written records of meetings, financial transactions, and planned criminal activities. Robert "Babo" Sosa became one of their most notorious generals, orchestrating operations from his prison cell. The rivalry between Nuestra Familia and the Mexican Mafia has resulted in thousands of deaths over the decades, with violence erupting in prisons, streets, and even small rural towns throughout California, wherever the two groups encounter each other. Texas Syndicate. Inside California's Folsom Prison in the early 1970s, a group of Texas inmates found themselves outnumbered and targeted by existing prison gangs. These Texan prisoners, mostly of Hispanic descent, banded together to form their own protection network that would eventually become one of the most disciplined prison gangs in the country. The organization adopted a paramilitary structure with a president, vice president, and chairman who control operations in different prison units and cities. Unlike other gangs that expanded rapidly, the Texas Syndicate maintained strict membership requirements, only accepting members born in Texas or with strong family connections to the state. The gang uses the symbol of the Longhorn and often identifies with the letters TS in their tattoos and graffiti. During the 1980s and 1990s, they expanded their influence beyond California into the federal prison system and back to their home state of Texas. The organization generates income through drug trafficking, protection rackets, and contract killings both inside and outside prison walls. Members follow a blood-in, blood-out policy, meaning prospects must commit violence to join and can only leave through death. The Texas Syndicate maintains a violent rivalry with the Mexican Mafia and has been involved in numerous prison riots and murders throughout the decades. DC Blacks. Operating primarily within the federal prison system since the 1990s, this organization formed when African-American inmates from Washington, D.C. recognized the need for unity and protection against other established prison gangs. The group emerged during a time when crack cocaine had devastated D.C.'s neighborhoods, sending thousands of residents into federal custody, where they faced threats from larger, more organized gangs. Members typically come from D.C.'s most dangerous areas and maintain strong ties to street crews back home in the nation's capital. The D.C. Blacks focus heavily on drug distribution networks that connect prison operations with outside contacts in Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. Unlike gangs with complex hierarchies, this organization operates with a more fluid leadership structure based on respect and street credibility rather than formal ranks. They're known for their willingness to use extreme violence to protect their interests and establish dominance in federal facilities across the country. The gang has been involved in numerous prison riots and assaults on correctional officers, particularly in facilities along the East Coast. Members identify themselves through specific handshakes, coded language, and tattoos representing DC landmarks or the district's area code. The organization continues to recruit from DC's neighborhoods, maintaining a pipeline of young members entering the federal system. Aryan Circle. The Texas prison system in the 1980s became the birthplace of this white supremacist organization, when inmates who were rejected by or had conflicts with the Aryan Brotherhood decided to form their own group. Founded around 1985, the gang adopted similar racist ideology and symbols but established itself as a separate entity with its own leadership and territory. The organization uses a patch system similar to outlaw motorcycle clubs, with members earning different levels of membership represented by specific tattoos and symbols, including lightning bolts and swastikas. Unlike the Aryan Brotherhood's strict blood-in, blood-out policy, the Aryan Circle allows members to leave under certain circumstances, making recruitment easier. The gang expanded rapidly throughout Texas prisons and eventually into facilities across the southern United States. Members engage in drug trafficking, weapons smuggling, and contract violence both inside correctional facilities and on the streets. In 2017, federal authorities conducted a major crackdown called Operation Aryan Influence, arresting dozens of members and associates across multiple states. Despite law enforcement efforts, the Aryan Circle continues operating in prisons throughout Texas and neighboring states. Nazi lowriders. Southern California's youth detention facilities and county jails during the late 1970s saw the emergence of this white supremacist gang, originally created as a support group for the Aryan Brotherhood. Young white inmates, many coming from punk rock scenes and skinhead subcultures, formed the organization to carry out tasks that senior Aryan Brotherhood members didn't want to handle themselves. The gang adopted Nazi imagery, racist tattoos, and a reputation for extreme violence despite their members' relatively young ages. Unlike traditional prison gangs that stayed behind bars, the Nazi lowriders built a strong street presence in Orange County and Los Angeles, engaging in methamphetamine production and distribution. The organization's name comes from the lowrider car culture, popular in Southern California, which they adopted alongside their white supremacist ideology. During the 1990s, tensions grew between the Nazi lowriders and their parent organization, the Aryan Brotherhood, leading to violent conflicts and a split. In 1999, law enforcement launched a massive investigation that resulted in the arrest of dozens of members for murder, drug trafficking, and racketeering. The gang became known for their brutality, with members committing murders to prove loyalty and maintain their fearsome reputation on California's streets and inside its jails. United Blood Nation. Rikers Island in New York City became the setting for this organization's creation in 1993 when inmate Omar Porte, known as OG Mac, united various blood sets to protect themselves from the dominant Latin Kings gang. Porte recognized that individual blood sets were too weak and disorganized to defend against larger, more unified prison gangs. So he established a structured hierarchy that brought them together under one banner. The United Blood Nation adopted a military-style ranking system with titles like Supreme Leader, High-Ranking Blood, and 5-Star General to organize members across different facilities. Unlike West Coast Bloods, who originated in Los Angeles street gangs, the United Blood Nation was born inside prison and then spread to the streets of New York and up the East Coast. The organization uses the number 5 as a symbol, wears red clothing, and identifies with a 5-pointed star and crown in their graffiti and tattoos. Leonard Mackenzie, known as OG Deadeye, co-founded the group alongside Porte and helped establish the gang's rules and structure. The United Blood Nation expanded rapidly through the East Coast prison system and into communities from New York to North Carolina, controlling drug markets and engaging in violent conflicts with rival Crip sets and other gangs. Latin Kings. Chicago's streets gave birth to this organization in the 1940s, but it wasn't until members began flooding into prison systems during the 1970s and 1980s that the Latin Kings transformed into a powerful prison gang. The group operates with a complex structure borrowed from their street organization, using titles like Inca, Cacique, and Corona to designate leadership roles within correctional facilities. Inside prison, the Latin Kings maintain strict discipline through a written constitution called the King Manifesto, which outlines rules, regulations, and expectations for all members. The organization's presence extends throughout state and federal prisons across the Northeast and Midwest, where they control drug distribution networks and protection rackets. Members identify themselves through the colors black and gold, along with symbols like 5-pointed crowns and the letters ALKN, standing for Almighty Latin King Nation. The gang recruits heavily from Puerto Rican and Mexican communities, though they've expanded to accept members from various Latino backgrounds. Inside facilities, Latin Kings often align with other Hispanic gangs against rival organizations, particularly white supremacist groups and rival Latino factions. The organization generates money through drug trafficking, extortion, and smuggling contraband into prisons, maintaining connections with street members who support operations from the outside.